Hi, welcome to the presentation for A Community of Schools, a case for Dewey in the context of global education. Today we are exploring how community involvement can boost school resources and serve as a catalyst for public school innovation. Our 21st century learners need global competencies to be successful in the new global economy. I'm postulating that by expanding Dewey's philosophy of a democratic curriculum to create a global democratic curriculum alongside community partners, we will be closer to meeting the needs of today's learners. Let me tell you briefly about myself as the author of this paper presentation. My name is Angela Schrader. I currently teach high school science at a West Texas high school, and I am also working on a doctorate at Texas Tech University's Global Prize Program in STEM education. I'm trying to work with a local organization called San Angelo P16 Plus Education Partnerships to help boost the involvement of the community in our public school system. Let me give you a quick synopsis of the abstract. This paper examines the relationship between four educational realities facing our public school systems. The first one is that globalizing education is necessary to prepare students for our new global and informational economy, and that our public schools are lagging behind in that trend. The second thing is the reality is that public schools cannot meet this demand without the help of community partnerships. Public schools have many barriers to innovating their curriculum, and we'll go into those further in the paper. Third relationship is John Dewey, who wrote extensively about the positive impacts of community involvement on education, which he felt created authentic and relevant learning experiences. So we're going to expand on that idea. The fourth thing is that institutions of higher education are equipped to establish partnerships and create a global democratic curriculum, so students may learn through collaboration, communication, and critical thinking. And these are all highly important skills that they will need to participate in the new global and informational economy. So if we step back to look at the current situation happening in public schools right now, they have stagnated and are continuing to teach students through a curriculum that is no longer valid relative to the needs of our contemporary society. Unfortunately, federally mandated testing and norm reference comparisons of schools has actually had the opposite effect of globalizing the curriculum by isolating the curriculum as teachers are pressured to teach to the test. So this disables teachers' abilities to widen the horizons of their students and bring global competencies into the classroom. One of the most salient consequences of a measurement or achievement-based curriculum is that it perpetuates the learning gap between those learners from poverty groups or minority and ethnic groups or those with learning disabilities, because teachers are not able to create learning situations and experiences that are valid to those students. If we look at the literature for the past 10 years, it supports the implementation of global education. In fact, there are a number of organizations being created regularly that provide resources and frameworks for educators to try to implement global education into their curriculum. One that I looked at for this paper was the Partnership for 21st Century Learning, which has an extensive network and framework for teachers interested in creating a global competency-based curriculum in their classroom. One of the barriers to innovative teaching methods is the traditional curriculum. A lot of what we're looking at when we're trying to be innovative in the classroom is to get past the curriculum that's been used over and over again. The literature defines curricular aims and objectives in various ways, so this could be a problem and be one of the reasons that the curriculum has stayed the same. However, many authors feel that because there is this variation, that provides opportunities for teachers and students and community stakeholders to actually co-construct a curriculum that would be relevant to their community. This would be a prime example of a democratic curriculum. Colleges and universities are taking more active roles in their local communities by creating partnerships that help support public schools. There is a significant amount of literature on a long-standing partnership between the University of Pennsylvania and the community of West Philadelphia. This community of West Philadelphia was falling into disrepair and seeing increases in crime and low graduation rates. So the University of Pennsylvania felt it was necessary and time for them to use their resources and step in and aid their local community via the public school system. So there's extensive literature about this framework that's happened over the last 25 years and how that relationship has changed that community. There's also literature from Dewey, specifically about the public being involved in education in order to bolster the democratic process. I want to look more closely at how Dewey's education philosophy fits in nicely with this idea of global education and changing the traditional curriculum into a global democratic curriculum. Some key aspects of Dewey's philosophy on education are the relationship between education system and the community, and how it should be balanced and sustained in order to ensure the continuation of the democratic process. Another aspect is that Dewey felt that experiences, particularly student experiences, are the vehicle to authentic learning. These experiences are derived from the local life, from the local society, and through community involvement. And then the third important thing for this particular paper is that Dewey felt collaboration and communication drives authentic learning, and it provides students the skills they need when they become adults and are actively engaged in their community and the democratic process. So if we put these strands of thinking together, we will find that we have read that currently schools are failing to recognize students as a valuable part of the curriculum development process, and that they're failing to meet the needs of 21st century learners. As Dewey quoted in Democracy in Education, that until the democratic criterion of the intrinsic significance of every growing experience is recognized, we shall be intellectually confused by the demand for adaptation to external aims. So what we're looking for here is to really integrate student experiences into the curriculum development process, and this would be a key component of a democratic curriculum. And then the other strand is that global education aspect. Global education is seamless with democratic curriculum. Both of them require extensive collaboration skills. Both of them require students to be actively engaged. Both of them require student experiences to be effective. Both global education and democratic curriculum rely on transactional communication. So not passive learning between teacher and student, but more conversational, transactional communication between student and peer, student and teacher, student and groups outside of the classroom. Both global education and democratic curriculums will promote critical thinking and problem-solving skills in our students, which is what they are going to need to participate fully in the 21st century global and informational economy. So what does all of this mean? Well, it means that schools must change to accommodate 21st century learners by constructing a global democratic curriculum. There are barriers in the terms of funding, training, resources, and time, something that teachers are always in desperate need of. However, by developing those community partnerships with the help of higher education institutions, whether it is the local institutions or regional institutions, that can help remove those barriers of funding, teacher training, resources, and time, and enable public schools to innovate their curriculum. Dewey's philosophy of education centered around ensuring the continuation of democracy in society. That is still relevant today. We are now in a global society. We are able to communicate instantaneously with people all over the globe. Therefore, our decisions affect those people in other countries and other places. So now we need democracy perhaps more than ever, and we need our students to learn in a situation where they understand that their decisions will be affecting others. So we need to be innovative, and we need to co-create and co-construct curriculum that is relevant and authentic to our students in the context of global education.